right? So you've heard the term an unassailable fortress, right? Can't break through. There's no fortress you can't break through. The thing is, if the cost of breaking through is so high you're not willing to accept it, then it's an impenetrable fortress.
It's unassailable at that point that you no longer have the desire.
Correct.
Right.
If you bring 100,000 guys to the table and you're going to lose 90,000 of them trying to get inside this thing, sure, you got inside of it, but
wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth the price, you know. So it's the same idea. It's, you know, again, Tai Chi principle of being able to, like the Eagles game. We were talking about the Eagles game this week. You know, sure, the Eagles put a beating on the Panthers, but the Panthers stayed in it long enough for the Eagles to wear down, and then they put on a clinic. Right? Panthers put on a clinic and went up the field 3 times without question, without resistance.
I love the way you can put Tai Chi principles onto pretty much anything. Well, you can, you know.
Absolutely.
Softness over hardness.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about this before, not during the Chi-cast, but you know, you can put it on dating, right? So you're internet dating. A lot of guys get really frustrated that they send 100 messages out and they may get 2 replies back, and out of those 2 replies, they may or may not get a date, right? But that's your job. Like, that's how this game is played, right? So your job as a guy, whether it's in the bar or it's online, is to play the numbers. That's your job. Don't get upset if you get rejected. It's kind of how the game is played.
It's part of the game. You will get rejected.
You're going to get rejected. And if you're afraid of rejection, then you don't play the game. Or you overreact when rejection comes, right? As opposed to just accepting that it's a part of the game. It's no different than losing a piece in chess and flipping the board, right? That's she rejecting you, or whoever you're targeting rejects you, and you get upset and mad and maybe even belligerent against that person. That's no different than just flipping the chessboard because you didn't like how the game came out, right? Or you checkmate happened and you didn't see it coming. That's a lot of emails coming through. So, you know, from that perspective, you just play it as if it's a game, right? You've played Risk before, right?
Probably.
Or Monopoly.
Yeah, sure. Board game, yeah.
You've been in games where you've been down, but you don't let it bother you. You just stay playing the game. You have a strategy or whatever, or you notice holes in other people's strategy, even if you're down, and you're able to claw back into the game. Whether you win or not is really immaterial. But by not flipping the board, the game goes on, and you give yourself a chance to win, right? So maybe, and I've heard horror stories about like online dating where the woman doesn't respond and they keep getting messages from the same person, and you're not helping your case.
Making it worse.
You're absolutely
you're
making it worse.
You're throwing dirt on yourself.
Right. You're tarnishing your brand, as it were. Same thing if you're in the bar, right? You're like us, you're old school, right? So you go out and meet people, and you're at the bar. If you keep badgering the same woman, or even you're in the neighborhood, right? And you're just badgering the same person over and over and over again, because I don't want to close the door on anything here. Just keep badgering the same person. Well, that's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere, right?
It's going to get you animosity towards you if you
absolutely.
Keep piling it on. Right, you got to know when to walk away.
And if they've got friends, then those friends are going to talk to other people, and you're going to be a pariah that night.
You're going to blow it. You just blew it.
You blew it for the whole place. Or what you do is you cast a wide net, because you don't know what's out there, right? So you cast a wide. You're just there to play. But a lot of times, how you play, no game of Monopoly is the same. No 2 games of Monopoly are the same. No 2 games of chess are the same. No 2 games of checkers are the same, right? So you don't know the game that you're playing until after you're already on the board, right? And you've already established things. So you go in, you may have your strategy, but like I think it was Patton who said it, the first casualty of war is the plan, right? So you go in, you go as long as the plan works, but then something's going to happen and you're going to have to redirect. So this is your Tai Chi principle at play here. So the best way of going about approaching a bar, approaching a social event, you're there to find a person, whether it's for the night or for life, doesn't matter. You cast a wide net, you network, you talk to everybody, guy, girl, gay, straight, doesn't matter. Be open, be there.
To everyone.
To everybody. Okay, as the guy, if you're on the hunt,
Sure.
right? As the aggressor.
Well, you should be like that in any
situation.
Not just at the bar, but you should be open to everyone and bring them into the fold.
Because if you are working the room, right? You're cool with the bartenders. You're cool with the guy you just met sitting next to you. You're cool with the couple that's sitting next to you, and you're working the room. You get your thing. You got a spot at the bar where your friends are. You have your drink. You're walking around. You're talking to people. You're introducing you. You're working the room,
like
right? You're doing your thing.
Sure.
So that when you get to the object of your desire, as it were. And I use object loosely, calm down. When you get to that person, what ends up happening is that person has seen you work this room. They're just another person on the list. There's no threat in your attention because you're just doing what you've done the entire night. So you've cast this wide net. Now, if they're interested, they have the ability to actually consider the interest. And now you're there. Now you're playing on a level field, right? Because they don't feel assailed upon, and you're not assailing them, at least in theory, okay? At least the way it looks in appearances. You talk, you introduce, you have a couple of sips, and you move on, you keep working the room. That's very hard, because you have the object in front of you, but you can't just harp on that object.
You can't draw that in. You've got a wide net. So you should be friends with everybody.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Work the room.
Whether you're looking for an object of desire or not, you should.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get to know people.
Life. In life. It's hard, but that's not so easy.
Cast a wide net. It's just like your form. You can work on different parts of your form, okay? And I always suggest most of the time, even if there's a single part of your form you want to work on, go through the entire form, okay? Because if you just focus on one part, you're missing the point of the form, first off. And two, you're actually focusing in on something and you're going to let everything else die out. You're going to let everything
else atrophy. You'll get good at that move, but you're missing the other moves that need to be the end of this move is going to be the beginning of that move. You're kind of missing that flow.
Right.
Although you do need to improve each move, but you should keep it with the flow.
Sure.
Right.
But that's what class is for, I think. No, it's not to say that I've never spent 2 hours working one move in a form. It's not to say that. But when you do that, you do it in order to understand whatever you pull out of that you're missing from that move, you're missing it in the entire form. Or if you have it in some other part, you're not seeing it, right? Something about the principle isn't going there. So when you get rejected, right, which sucks, but it's no different than getting a move wrong in Tai Chi. The only difference is when we go into our form, we don't take it so seriously. Whereas when we're talking to the person of our desire, it's all or nothing. It's just this huge game, and we have to win.
It would be defeat if you don't score.
Right? It's like it's the end of the world if you hear no. And that's no good. That's no good.
There's other fish in the sea.
Absolutely.
If you can't hook this one.
Absolutely. That's, I think, is the very first thing one must understand going into the dating pool, whether they're old, young, new to it, players in it. The thing you have to understand, first and foremost, is there are 3 billion, if the numbers are on your side, let's say, Okay, no matter what it is, the numbers are on your side. Thank you for joining us for that clip of our weekly podcast. If you want to get more bonus footage or join us for the entire podcast, head on over to Patreon, where our Eagle, Tiger, and Dragon subscribers get access to not only what we cast and talk about, but advanced lessons in your forms, in your Tai Chi, and in your life.